With that, I guess I'll look for engineering comments.
I have nothing additional to add at this time, Madam Supervisor. Thank you.
Is there any comments? Any or Rebecca? Board comments?
I hear none.
Lynn?
I have nothing this time. I'll wait.
Nothing at this time?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Jim?
I have a couple things. Earlier in the week I did I requested that something be put on the agenda relative to the continuing discussion of RFPs for professional services. No, that's okay. And it was indicated that it would be more appropriate to bring up on our board comments, which is fine. And with that continuing discussion, I spoke with a couple of board members. I think that's the best way to handle the professional services. Doesn't mean who or who may not be awarded with any potential contract January 1st of 2011. However, it'll give the board all information necessary to determine whether or not who may be able to provide the service for the best dollar value for the taxpayers. And that way we'll have a general idea of where we come in amongst other municipalities and also potentially bids on the project. The scope of services is something obviously the board would have to consent to and determine at a later time. However, I'd like to move forward, at least to get the board to adopt a resolution to move forward with the project so we can at least get the ball rolling. With that being said, I would like to make a motion that we accept requests for proposals for professional services to include legal and engineering services to be prepared and sent out to appropriate service providers by November 30th, 2010, and all bids shall be received back by the town of Cicero by 12 o'clock noon on December 17th, at which time the bids would be open. And at the later date, the next board meeting, a scope of services letter shall be approved at that town board meeting, which would accompany the bids, and that would be in the form of a motion.
Second, I'll second that motion.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Ms. Simbrano?
Yes.
Mr. Corl?
Yes.
Ms. Boite?
I don't believe that there has been any discussion, obviously, with myself, other than a recommendation. And I would like to have some discussion with Mr. Corl and or the rest of the board members, because this was not brought up for discussion prior to this evening.
I think anybody in this room can probably remember, brought it up several times this year.
Yes, you've asked, but there's been no discussion. It's just been a proposal to discuss. So, with that, I will say no.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say something. We've talked about the RFP concept several times this year, and I think that we need to exercise RFPs more often than just these services, and so I just want to make sure that we are talking about other professional services as well, not just these two.
I agree. I think this is a step in the right direction. It'll avoid anything about either a board comes into the town of Cicero, not only this current board, but future boards, that we set the precedent that we're going to look to all, whether it's attorneys or engineering firms, to determine whether or not the taxpayers are getting the best value for their dollar, and to avoid anything in which outside influences would pertain to the situation, so that when a new board comes in, they don't pick, they take a look at everybody who's out there as opposed to who they may know or not know or things like that. So I would encourage other municipalities to do that also.
But you're just more or less stating that when a new board comes in, even though for the previous boards over a substantial amount of years, that there has not been RFPs gone out. It's just been an assumption and an automatic appointment. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's always been an automatic appointment by the board, and as I've said in previous board meetings, I think now is a good time to start doing that, especially in light of, I think it's a matter of public record that the current town attorney donates $6,000 to the administration, so we're going to avoid that type of situation in the future, so we can remove any type of pay-to-play politics within this town and other municipalities. Hopefully they will follow our lead.
Wow, Jim, that is amazing.
You asked the question.
Absolutely.
I wasn't going to say anything else.
And obviously you were prepared with an answer.
I didn't know the question was going to be asked.
Well, it's not appropriate to have this open discussion. With that, do you have anything else that you want to bring up?
I do. At the last town board meeting, the town board also made a decision to terminate the shared service agreement that we held with the town of Salina.